First, it was Prime Energy. You're watching Monday Night Raw and you realize it has sucked the life out of you. Pound back a Prime and try to get some energy back. Then it was Morgan and Morgan. You watched a full Friday Night SmackDown, and now you want to throw yourself into the middle of traffic. Don't worry, there's Morgan and Morgan. And then there was Maybe It's Maybelline. Maybelline! To hide those tears, to turn that frown upside down. Cover up the fact that you had to just witness a WWE PLE. Hide it with some Maybelline. And now, you guys ready? The breaking news, the new in-ring sponsorship. Do we need a drum roll? No, we don't need a drum roll. Do we need a Vince McMahon voice? I think so, right? This calls for a Vince McMahon voice in the very near future. In the middle of the ring with a big old logo. You guys will be seeing... You're gonna be seeing... Damn it, it's DoorDash! Thank you, Vince. DoorDash! That's right, DoorDash! Now, while you're watching this garbage, they can deliver the bricks to the front door. You can build the wall yourself, and when the show is over, or during the show, wouldn't blame you, build your wall and catapult your dome piece through it. If you get hurt, call Morgan and Morgan! Cover up the scars with some Maybelline. Sit back and have a Prime. But we got a lot of good discussion coming up in tonight's show, like this story. Check this out. We're going to be talking John Cena, possibly headed to the Hall of Fame in just a few months. The WWE Hall of Fame WrestleMania Vegas weekend. John Cena co-headlining with Steph McMahon. Are you serious? There's no question John Cena's going to the Hall of Fame. Earned it, deserved it. I hate those words, but of course he has. There's no question. So what's the rush with this company? This dude is still wrestling right now. And when he hangs it up at the end of the year, which is not right now, give him some time to reflect. Give him some time to appreciate this whole thing on levels he never even thought of. That's what somebody who is retired should be able to do. Give them some time, the old saying in the industry. Give them time to prepare the flowers in order to give the flowers. Otherwise, it looks like you're chucking flowers at Cena that were ripped up from Tony Schiavone's lawn. Mrs. Schiavone is going to be pissed. You took the roses! And the tulips! Never take Mrs. Schiavone's tulips! We're just chucking random flowers at John Cena at this year's WrestleMania in the Hall of Fame. Give it time. Prepare the flowers before you give the flowers. Let the dude breathe. What is the rush? This is the same company. A year or two ago, Hunter Hearst Helmsley was like, let's induct Raymond Mysterio. Raymond Mysterio! There was just one big problem, obviously. He was still wrestling at the time. He was nowhere near retired. In fact, Raymond is still wrestling today! Today! He's still wrestling today! Raymond Mysterio. He's still wrestling. He's going to wrestle next year too. But let's throw him into the Hall of Fame years in advance. What's the rush with this company? BC has the answer. I absolutely have the answer. And it's probably not what you're thinking. But when I tell you the light bulb's going to go off and you're going to go, yup, that sounds like Helmsley. That sounds like WWE. We'll talk about it. John Cena to the Hall of Fame Not in a year or 2 or 3, 4, 5 years, right? Give it some time. Make it really special when he makes his return to WWE and gets this achievement and this honor and these accolades from the fans. No. We're going to do it immediately. Immediately. So Helmsley can just go, all right, now everyone can forget about Cena. We're done with him. But it's not just that they're running out of people. They're not just running out of people. At this point, they could beg Vince McMahon to come back and just accept this honor, and Vince McMahon would want nothing to do with it. Get out of here! Get out of here now! I'm not going to your stupid Hall of Fame, you doofus! Son-in-law! You doofus! You're such a doofus! Listen to BC's channel, you doofus! He'll tell you exactly what you are! You're going to hell! Vince McMahon wouldn't come. Batista wants nothing to do with this Hall of Fame. Nobody of relevance that's left, because there ain't many left. Nobody wants anything to do with this circus. The Hall of Fame has become a circus, and that's sad. The Hall of Fame used to be special. Now it's one big game of tag, you're it, between Helmsley and his buddies and his wifey. Steph gets the buddies together and they're like, hey, we're going to play a rib. We're going to pull a rib on Paul. We're going to throw him in the Hall of Fame. He becomes the headliner. Never mind the fact there's a worldwide audience. You guys just go into business for yourselves, amuse yourselves, and we'll watch on. And then the next year, hey, now we're going to repay the favor. We're going to play a rib on Steph. Steph's going to go in the Hall of Fame now. And we're just watching them play jokes on one another. The Hall of Fame is just their joke. They're just throwing each other into the Hall of Fame. I'd rather leave Stephanie McMahon on the curb, throw her to the wayside. I'd put Helmsley, I'd leave him on the curb, and I'd put in Doink the Clown over these clowns. The original Doink, though. Because you guys may not know, there was several Doink the Clowns. Vince McMahon was already always putting in a new Doink the Clown. He did that with Razor Ramon and Diesel at one point, too. That's funny. The original Doink, I think his name was Matt Bourne. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So even more reason to put Doink into the Hall of Fame. But Demolition, Chyna on her own, not DX. You could go down a whole laundry list of people that should be there. But nope, we got to play tag, you're it. They're too busy on a power trip, an ego ride. WWE is their personal playground now. They're just chucking each other into the Hall of Fame. And John Cena? Throw him in there and get him out of the way. Helmsley cannot wait to just get Cena out of the way. But if Cena does go in just a few months, it's not just because they have run out of people. They have nobody left, not of any name recognition and value anyway. That's the obvious reason. But there's an even bigger reason why Cena would go into the Hall of Fame in just a few months. As wild as that may seem. And coming up in tonight's show, we're going to talk, it's like a continuation. We're always telling you on this channel how Paul Levesque McMahon is the sole or the main reason that WWE is in the toilet these days. But we also, especially in last night's upload and yesterday's Amped Up show, we placed a lot of blame on those, quote, fans that continue to blow smoke up Helmsley's ass. That continue to coddle the balls of Helmsley and don't hold him accountable. They're very much to blame for where WWE is today as well. So we got Helmsley covered. These so-called fans that show up, spend all this money, and start chanting for every little segment. No matter if it makes sense, if it's even good or not, they don't care. This is awesome. You deserve it. They'll chant it. They'll yeet. They'll dance. They'll have sing-along. We covered Helmsley, we covered these so-called fans, but what about the wrestlers? Is any blame to be placed on the wrestlers for complacency? In this cold open teaser, I'll give you the answer, yes. And I have an amplified reason why. And we're going to talk some TK, Tony Khan, the boss of All Elite Wrestling, recently doing an interview with Ariel. And I believe that's their first interview since that huge debacle the first time around. So it was wild seeing TK in Ariel's studio. But Ariel basically asked TK about the so-called haters of AEW, those individuals that rip apart every single show. They rip apart every little thing Tony Khan says or does. And Tony Khan's response to those individuals was straight boss status. He was telling no lies. I have to give him credit on that. We'll talk about what he said. BC will give you his hot take. But for a company that's been around, relatively a new company still, man, AEW, 6 or 7 years-ish, in comparison to WWE that's been around for decades, TNA Wrestling's been around years longer than AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, obviously, NWA, of course, different ownership. I don't know when Billy took over, but NWA has a long history. But all these companies have been around a long time. AEW is still trying to find that groove. They're going to go through growing pains. But there's those individuals in the community where they spend all their time and all their focus and all their energy on little old AEW. When over there, the juggernaut, WWE, is making the biggest problems. And that's what all of our focus should be on, because nobody is going to run pristinely unless the juggernaut is. We collectively need to give WWE a boot in the ass to get their heads on right. But no, there's a sector of individuals in this community. They give WWE basically a pass, or Helmsley, and it's just AEW is the worst thing in pro. What are you talking about? So I love this question and Tony Khan's chill response on it. We'll talk about it, man. Putting people in their place, and you gotta love it. What do you want to start off? You want to start off with Cena? Yeah, let's start off with Cena. Why not? John Cena into the Hall of Fame. Now, what do you want? What do you want BC to say? I know you guys are gonna be like, well, BC. I mean, it doesn't really matter when. He's one of those rare individuals, BC, that, you know what, instantly is fine, BC, instantly. Well, guess what? It's not a cup of noodles. All right, this is a professional wrestler who has dedicated decades to this. He's not a cup of noodles. He's not ramen. You're not going to add water to John Cena and all of a sudden, boom, you have your 5-course meal. It takes time for John Cena to become the John Cena he is today. It took time. It took years. It took decades. So he's retiring at the end of the year. And what? You want to honor that 3 or 4 months later. What's the rush? Why not let this breathe? Why not let that dude breathe? It was so sad when Raymond Mysterio was thrown into the Hall of Fame because they wanted to kind of use it for a storyline too. He was taking on Dominic Mysterio. And while his father is going into the Hall of Fame, Dom Mysterio is being an ass. Bro, this is Rey Mysterio. Like, let this guy, retire, go away for a few years to really appreciate it on levels he never even thought were imaginable. So when he comes back, there's a real tear in his eye. And feelings that Rey Mysterio never had a chance to feel. He hadn't been away from the business, but here he is being honored into the Hall of Fame. You only get that feeling if you're away from it, if you're retired and you get to come back to get that adulation from the fans for all the accolades and all the awards and the championships that you have achieved throughout your career. There is nothing as special as that last moment when you are being honored for a lifetime. And they ruined Rey Mysterio. They ruined him. He was wrestling that year. He wasn't even retired. In fact, he's still wrestling. I just saw him, on Monday night? And to show you how how much lack of creativity is within Helmsley. He's still feuding with Dominic Mysterio, by the way. The Hall of Fame was what, 2 years ago? Was it last year or 2 years ago? I forgot when exactly. But he is still feuding with Dom Mysterio. That's the creative level of numbnuts, Doofus son-in-law. But that's another story. I feel so bad for Rey Mysterio. And I will feel so bad for John Cena. Throwing this guy in just a few months afterwards. Now, the fanboys and the fangirls that don't understand any of this, they just think this is a great thing. Oh my God, John Cena's in the Hall of Fame immediately. He was always it's John Cena, man. Sit on this. It's bad enough you don't have any names left. You did not make any new stars the last 10 years. You just didn't. You'll have Roman. Somebody else, maybe. All I'm thinking about is Roman right now. He's not even making LA Knight anything. I mean, he's got nobody. Vince's guys eventually will go. Brock Lesnar. You got to think Paul Heyman will do his speech. Brock, Vince McMahon's Randy Orton. I mean, you're running out of names. Batista eventually will take it. But as far as headliners, you failed to make new stars. So you really want to sit on John Cena. You really don't want to waste John Cena right now. Sit on that. And maybe that's it too. They just don't care, man. They're pimping WrestleMania out anyway. Saudi Arabia's going to get it next year, the year after. What is it, 43? Saudi Arabia. They're pimping it out. I don't think they care anymore about the Hall of Fame. It's pretty clear. I said it in the cold open. It's a game of tag you're it anyway between Helmsley and his buddies and his wifey, his family. They're just inducting each other in. It's all one big joke to the Helmsleys. The Levesque McMahons. John Cena, instantly. He's a microwavable dish. You don't even have time to miss him. Gave you the whole year, you wait a couple months, and boom, it's Hall of Fame time. And they'll be pumping it up since January, you know that. So it's like he's not going anywhere. And then when it's all said and done, what do you have left for John Cena? That could be a really big thing a couple of years, even if you do want to rush it. A couple of years is rushing it. I would wait like 5 years. Is it the MLB? I love how they do it. Isn't it like 5 years, or is that the NFL? One of them. Maybe it's both. But a lot of these sports, they make you wait 5 years before you're even eligible, man, because they want that gap. And they're not just trying to pimp you out. This company, that's exactly what they're doing, though. I told you there was another reason than just the obvious. They ran out of names. They have nobody. John Cena, you got to come, man, because if you don't, Batista doesn't want to do it. Stephanie McMahon is all we have. Oh, yeah, there's a much bigger reason. It's because they can't push the tickets. They know damn well they are well behind what they were hoping for so far for Vegas. They did. Nick Khan already admitted they did this to The Rock. What was it, the Elimination Chamber before Mania last year? And Nick Khan had to call up The Rock. They're like, hey, we're not pushing tickets like we thought we would. We need The Rock. That's a quote, by the way. That's a quote from Nick Khan. So everybody blamed The Rock for coming back and not doing anything. And I do agree. If you're going to come back, everybody has to be on a page, and you got to do more. But what people fail to realize, they were begging The Rock to come back because they couldn't push tickets. So The Rock did them a favor and showed up at the chamber. Because that was the big word swirling. Oh, The Rock's probably going to show up. And they pushed another one. Like 5,000 more tickets got sold within the 24-hour period. Right after that rumor kicked off with The Rock. So that's what this company does. They're not pushing the tickets they want for Vegas. So what are they going to do? They're going to bring in a big name for the Hall of Fame because Stephanie wasn't doing it clearly. Nobody cared. But John Cena, right? Capitalized from the momentum of the Last Time Is Now tour and his retirement. You got to spend the money to come out to Vegas to watch WrestleMania weekend. Head out to the Hall of Fame. Stick around. Buy a 2-night ticket for just the reasonable price of $35,000. $35,000. Tickets just went on sale, by the way, for Elimination Chamber Chicago. I'm not even kidding. 12 rows back. 12 rows back. There's still seats for like $5,000. $3,000 to $5,000. There's one that's like 11 that was $3,000. Row 12 was like 5, but I think it was because it was the aisle where they come out. So, okay, but you're still 11 or 12 rows back. $5,000 you're going to charge somebody? And don't get me started on the VIP packages. Those are up to $40,000. And there's fans that are going to pay it with a smile. I bring this up all the time, man, the Lego movie. It's one of the funniest parts of a movie I've ever seen, where the little character Emmett, he's a little Lego guy, and he sees life through like rose-colored glasses. Everything is awesome to him. I'm not even kidding. There's even a song, and it's called Everything is Awesome! And you can't help but think WWE fans, right? Because everything is awesome to WWE fans, man. This is awesome! It's 32 seconds into a match, and all they've done so far is kind of chase each other. Fans don't care. And if they wrestle for 60 seconds and then they both sell, watch when wrestlers sell at the same time and they like lay down. The crowd's ADHD kicks in. They don't know what to do. So listen, you'll start to hear a "This is awesome" chant whenever there's a stop in action. Because the ADHD kicks in. It's hilarious. Watch the next time two wrestlers lay down at the same time. After like a few minutes. But in this Lego movie, this little Emmett, right? He goes up to get a coffee. He's like, "Coffee, please." And they're like, "Okay, $35. Awesome!" He hands over the credit card. Not even thinking. They just charged you $35 for a coffee. Awesome. WWE, $35,000, please. We can fit you in the nosebleeds. Awesome. Take American Express. John Cena. If you hear that name, is that going to make you go to Vegas? Oh, they're really going to pump that out. Look what they did for this Last Time Now tour, right? Oh, man. When you know that John Cena is going into the Hall of Fame, is that going to make everybody come to the Vegas yard? I don't know how you guys feel about it, man. Of course, there's no doubt he's going into the Hall of Fame, and of course, and it should be a really good moment, but give that dude the time to breathe. He deserves everybody to prepare the flowers in order to give it to him. You can't just chuck flowers that look like you just dug them up from a yard. Do this right. That's that analogy. Prepare the flowers before you give them. The analogy is simplistic. It's just saying give it time to do it properly. This shouldn't be a ragtag thing, because look at Rey Mysterio. You can't tell me that was done properly. You can't tell me that's the best send-off for Rey. And when he retires in a year, 2 or 3, whichever it's going to be, he's got nothing, man. You've already been in the Hall of Fame. What are you going to do? You got to grasp at straws. Are you going to induct him as the part of the LWO? People forgot about that group the day it was formed. But no, in WWE, he'll go in as the LWO. Like, that's a Hall of Fame-worthy group. I don't know, man. Well, basically, what if they put in Eddie? And we're grasping, man. John Cena Hall of Fame. There's a very good chance, guys, that that's happening. I'll stay on the story for you. You know the deal. Let's move on to Tony Khan, man. He was on Ariel's show recently, and Ariel, just like I said in the cold open teaser, asked him straight up. These pundits, these YouTubers, creators, podcasters, all these individuals that seem to just be focusing on AEW for some reason. And you could do no right. And they're just trying to rip apart your show and you, Tony Khan. What do you have to say about that? Like, what's your thought into that? And Tony Khan's response was straight up boss, man. Tony Khan says this, and I quote, "It clearly does engagement for them. You wouldn't spend such a large part of your real estate, and you wouldn't devote such a large percentage of your content talking about AEW unless it was engaging." That is great, man. What he said, okay? Let me put it in simpler terms for you. What he said is, my name is in your mouth, not the other way around. That's wild, man. That's some boss shit. That was a good response. No tantrum. No, it's not fair. No, I don't know why they're doing that. Just, hey, it does them numbers. Clearly their numbers are pretty damn good if they keep harping on it. He gave zero attention or mention to Cornette, in case you're wondering, but he did say that it was, quote, ironic coming from Eric Bischoff, because Bischoff was in that seat for WCW, and he knows how hard it is going up against WWF/E and all the tricks that they can play, and then making the mistakes to the point where he's not even in that seat anymore. And Eric Bischoff, while he succeeded for some odd 83 weeks, he failed ultimately. So he's saying Eric Bischoff should know more than anybody. It takes time. It's growing pains. There's a lot of moving parts. But Eric Bischoff has found that niche, because there is a niche of audience that most of them, I really don't believe, even watch AEW's product. For them, it's probably even easier to bash because they don't watch it anyway. So we'll just not like something we have no idea about. Hey, sounds easy. And you just find some numbnuts that you don't mind listening to, and there you go, man. Got the platform, got the audience, and you got the shtick. You got the narrative. AEW, bad. WWE, good. No. That's the sad part, man. All kidding aside. Right, the sad part is that all of us should be focusing on what WWE is doing wrong right now so that they can get it corrected. Because when WWE is firing on all cylinders, the rest of the industry gets a pick-me-up. And when WWE's doing really bad, you see that streamline down into the industry. It's sad to say that, but that's the case. But there's just too many individuals that are willing to give WWE passes. Or if they are being critical of it in a not so positive way, it's very brief. And then it's right on to, oh, but it's good over here, and this was a good show, and oh, this feels good again, and no, it doesn't. Stop. No grown adult can watch a WWE product these days and say that this garbage is good. No grown adult can do that. Not keeping a straight face and saying that they're being honest to themselves. There's no way. You see EO clinging to Rhea Ripley like she's her mama, and she doesn't want to unleash her hug from Rhea. Why? What? Alexa Bliss is all of a sudden the little sister to Charlie. That's literally their relationship. Jason Uso is yeeting for 20 minutes every show. There's sing-alongs. Audience participation nonstop. They don't even care what's being said in a promo. They just want to chant over it and sing over it. Feuds from years ago, and nobody seems to care. Rey Mysterio face-to-face with Dominic Mysterio, like it's the first time. Roman Reigns is face-to-face with Brock Lesnar this past Monday, like we haven't seen this for 5 straight years, several WrestleManias. But no, AEW is so bad. The company that's been around for 6, 7 years, tops, I would say. Vince McMahon, a decade into his good run, right? Those early 80s. You're acting like 1993 or 1994, 1995, 1996. That whole time frame. You're acting like that didn't happen. That was over a decade of Vince having a grasp on this. It's been 6 or 7 years for TK. Vince McMahon, he got his groove back, right? Late 90s. It's 15 years after Vince McMahon started this thing. That was 15 years. And then the Attitude Era really busted off. So, I don't... But like Tony Khan said, man, it's engagement for them. It's a narrative. It's a shtick. But it's really good to hear Tony Khan basically no-sell these idiots. He completely no-sold them. Pay no attention to them. They're trying to get any crumbs that AEW allows them to obtain. Pretty badass response. And we'll close it up with this story, man. Are wrestlers also to blame for WWE right now being in the toilet, right? We always talk how it's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. We always talk how it's the fans that are showing up, paying all this money, and basically telling Helmsley, hey, these shows, you don't need to change anything. Everything is awesome! But what about the wrestlers? CM Punk really started this conversation. He said this many times. He said why guaranteed pay is great for these wrestlers, on one hand. Right? It's guaranteed pay. Who wouldn't love that? Security, right? For them and their family. That's awesome. But on the other hand, as CM Punk and so many others have put it, you lose that drive. There's nothing to obtain. There's no goal to really reach. You already have your guaranteed money. So that, by any means necessary attitude, it's just not there in these wrestlers today. And you saw it with Dolph Ziggler. You see it with Xavier Woods. I mean, these are just two names that they already have their side gigs. Dolph Ziggler and his comedy and other things, man, he was just pulling in a WWE check. He didn't care about the booking. Xavier Woods, he just wants to play video games. He's like, oh, you're looking at the cloud. Man, I got to go do this wrestling match. He's probably loving the fact that he now sits at catering since Helmsley took over. Play video games, collect a check. Don't get me started on Gallows and Anderson, man. They've left and come back 3 different times, and each time they stay in catering. They don't care. You don't hear a peep from them. They were more than fine. Sitting down, waiting for the next tray of triple layered moose cake. So many wrestlers, man, they don't have that drive. You see it. How many wrestlers can you name? Most of the roster, right? The promos when they started were really rough, right? Not good. And for a lot of them that have been there for a few years, look at them now. Are their promos next level? Is there really tweaks to their character? How are you seeing definition and improvement? Probably not. The promos are probably still really bad. The character is probably still in the shitter. Right? Everybody loves Bayley, right? It's Bayley. We love Bayley. Now, BC's going to hit you with some truth, right? I'm just picking random names here, right? Bayley. Bayley's promos from today to 5 years ago. No, not there. Bayley's never been a really good promo. It sucks to say. And I don't know if it's something that she ever thought, hey, that's an area I want to work on. Because I think a lot of these wrestlers today, they just think my in-ring work, my work rate, my moveset, my flips, my dives, got to go out there and get 3.5 stars at least. If I can pull 4.5, yes. If I can get them to yell, this is awesome 3 or 4 times, man, this would be good for me. But who's working on their promos, their character, right? That's what The Undertaker took a lot of shit for last year when he said he was walking through the locker room and he just noticed that everybody was just sitting around playing video games and nobody was working on anything. Nobody was like talking to them, and not in a weird way, like, you know, doing promos. Stone Cold would always talk about how he'd be walking down the corridor and he would just be cutting a promo on himself. People thought he was, they thought he was out there. It's Stone Cold, maybe he was. But nobody was just working on stuff, man, and going over things. It was video games, and everybody's decompressing for their mental health and all this, and that's great on one hand, man. On the other hand, If you're ever wondering why nobody feels special when they come through that curtain, yeah, you blame Helmsley in the way he's booking them, no question. But at one point, do you actually put some blame too on the wrestlers themselves? Because I know for a fact, most are not working on anything. They're showing up to cash in on that guaranteed money. And then when they get released, they're like, what? Huh? I didn't know this was coming. What am I gonna do? This caught me by surprise. I didn't know this was gonna happen. Perhaps you should have. Perhaps you should have been ready. Perhaps you should have been working on your own character, even if Helmsley isn't going to give you the time of day. If you accidentally get that moment, you're going to be ready. You're going to knock it out of the park. Complacency, man. There's too much of it. Every wrestler just seems and feels so average. And at a time where Helmsley is literally booking them like that, it's up to them to try to do something unique. LA Knight did it. And I feel bad for that dude because he's been held down ever since he got himself over. Helmsley cannot stand that. But he still gets a really good pop still to this day. Even though Helmsley is holding this dude down every which way imaginable, he's still, I would consider, a top guy. Could you imagine if Helmsley even accidentally gave him a piece of the rocket? What LA Knight could have been in this company? But you got to work on it. And these wrestlers today, man, they're too much in their feels. And that sucks to say. It really does. They have to remember they're pro wrestlers, man. And it's not just about what you're posting on your social, right? Max Dupree wins the IC title, and it's a love fest. All these wrestlers, even heels. Oh, Maxine! Congrats, Maxine! My Maxi pad! Much love, Maxie, you did it! Nia Jax, everybody, and it's all right. Everyone's breaking character, but hey, the show Unreal has already ruined all the magic tricks. So even if you're a kid, they're basically telling you, oh, this is just show. They all love each other. Because it's always a love fest, isn't it? CM Punk. Right? CM Punk grabs a microphone after Monday Night Raw went off the airwaves in Madison Square Garden, and he starts talking about how John Cena's the greatest of all time, and this is like being on the same team of Wayne Gretzky. Being able to be on the same roster at the end of John Cena's career, and he loves John Cena. Come on, man. We know you do. Put a nice little post on your social, be done with it. The love fest afterwards on the microphone. Where's that CM? Where is that competitiveness? It's not there anymore. And everybody's okay with it. In fact, just bringing it up, Undertaker takes heat for it. Undertaker said, I feel that people should have been working on their characters and promos and stuff on their own backstage, but everybody was chilling out playing video games, and everybody came down hard on The Undertaker. They're decompressing, man. It's a hard job. Look at your generation. Did anybody make it past 45? Maybe not, but at least they're going to be remembered. They didn't just do good, they did epic. More than anything, they cared. Imagine a day and age where The Undertaker takes shit for saying that he wants people to care more about what they're doing. Today, if you say you want more competitiveness, instead of everybody going, you did it, Maxine, good job, right? The whole roster, oh, Maxine did it. And CM Punk and everybody, oh, John Cena, let me get the mic. Let me keep Madison Square Garden here another 10 minutes while I'll tell the whole arena how special John Cena is. We know, dude. Where's the competitiveness? You grew up in a day and age where it's gone, man. And everything is just about mutual respect and shaking hands after the match. Helmsley even has his heels. Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Randy Orton. They shake hands. It's respect. We're all on the same level playing field. Nobody's better than the other. There's no competitiveness, man. What happened to the days where people were chucking others off a bridge to get that top spot? No, literally. Like, I remember The Rock chuck Steve Austin off of a bridge. That's a real story. Back then, you had to look over your shoulder. It was paranoia within the company. Because somebody was always trying to take that spot. And I'm not even talking about in a douchebaggery way, man. Unlike Helmsley, right? Helmsley was a legit snake. You definitely had to watch out what that dude was doing. And when he was going into Vince's office. But aside from that, literally just everybody was trying to one-up their own game. So that's what made Raw and Smack, that's what made the product so special. Everybody was coming out with something unique. That's what I mean when I say there was characters. When I say there was characters, I don't mean just T.L. Hopper the plumber or Duke the dumpster Drosy the garbage pickup guy. I mentioned earlier the clown Doink. No, I just mean everybody had character and personality. It was fun. Nowadays, you can tell that these wrestlers were just playing video games 10 minutes before they stepped through the curtain because it looks like you just woke them up from a nap. But then again, if you listen to Joe Tessitore welcome us to Raw, it's like Joe just woke up from a nap. It's like everybody in that company of World Wrestling Entertainment is taking a nap, and we are inconveniencing them. Oh man, we gotta put on a show now? Can't we just sit back here and get our guaranteed money? And Helmsley's probably thinking, I hear you guys. You think I want to do this stupid thing? Act like I'm creative? I have to put thought into any of this? This hurts. He's like, I get headaches from this. That's the difference. For anybody that was around. 80s, you saw it. They tried in the early 90s, especially late 90s, early 2000s. They were having fun. That's the element. That's the ingredient to this recipe that made the finished product. It's that one ingredient that if you don't have it, you're not going to get the product you want. Don't even bother baking. Fun. They were having fun. Even when they were paranoid and always looking over their shoulder at what wrestler was trying to take their spot. Man, it was fun because it elevated them. It gave themselves a boot in the ass. So that's the trifecta, right? And we talked a lot about it the last few episodes of Amped Up Show. Helmsley's the first and foremost to blame, no question. But the fans deserve a lot of that blame too, that show up and act like these shows are the greatest thing since the Amped Up Show. Helmsley, the fans, and yes, the wrestlers. Some blame on the wrestlers as well. And I'll say it, because nobody else has the balls to say it. Soft. Soft. S-O-F-T. Sorry, Enzo. No S-A-W-F-T. S-O-F-T. When you say, you suck, Maxine, don't come back. And the next day, she's crying about it, and all the female locker room is coming to her aid. How could they say this? She's working hard. All they said was, you suck, Maxine, don't come back. That's all they said. That's enough to make the entire women's locker room cry. I know it's a different era, but damn, man. Competitiveness. Stop with all the mutual respect and the handshakes and the hugging. EO is clinging on to Rhea like it's her mama. Stepsister Alexa to the big older sister, Charlie. CM Punk with another paying homage on the microphone to Cena. We've heard it, bro. We know. You love the guy. We get it. He's your role model. Put the microphone down. Or if you pick it up, where's that old school CM Punk? Much love, respect, John Cena, but damn, I'd love one more time to knock your block off. That's what I want to hear. That's pro wrestling. But right now, it's Barney. I love you. You love me. Don't you love Maxine Dupree? With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Don't you think Max deserves it too? I don't. Enough with all of the bull. Bring back some amplification. Until next time. And there will be that next time. BC saying check you, unit. Salute.